As we continue our School Matters series, we're exploring issues like youth mental health. 18-year-old Luc Swensson struggled after being bullied and after his parents divorced, after a lot of kids do struggle in those situations as well. He created a foundation, though. This is a little bit different. The I Love This Life Foundation travels the country now to inspire kids with a view of life that is more hopeful than the one they may have. And Luc Swensson joins us now. Luc, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for the opportunity.
I noticed your pink shoes, and I know the bullying started with pink shoes way back when you were 13. This is not a Barbie accoutrement that came lately. So tell me how you took that moment of, I want to curl up in a corner, and turned it into an inspiring message for others.
Yeah, you know, that was really, really a tough time in my life. The bullying piece was really in the middle of one of my biggest parts of my life, and that was when I used to race cars for kids with pediatric cancer. You know, we would pay for their flights and their ability to get to their cancer treatments, and that was something that was, at that point, really, really big for me. And I wanted to wear pink shoes to just promote that even more. And that was honestly one of the roughest days of my life. You know, that was the day I wanted to give up. I wanted this entire thing to not happen, and I wanted to give up on it all.
And how did you go from that moment of extreme low to something so inspiring that you're now here talking about it?
You know, I was able to look, and I learned a lot, honestly, from my dad. You know, he gave me a great piece of advice that don't make a decision the day something happens. I waited that next day, and I remember running down the hallway in our house in Montana, and I said, Dad, I want you to go and buy me the brightest pair of pink shoes you can find.
There you go.
Because I don't want to let kids who have no idea what these mean define what that might turn into.
I like Dad's advice, but I also like the fact that you said you're 18 now, that you've always wanted to help kids since you were 7.
Yep.
And that going through your parents' divorce really affected you. How? And how did you know at 7 you wanted to help others?
Yeah, you know, my parents' divorce was rough. It was the constant, you know, tugging and pulling between what you would experience through a divorce, and having to go in between houses was something that was so rough for me. But it was because of, you know, finding a way to be able to help kids, and actually with that being racing cars.
And did you know other kids who were going through a divorce? Was that part of the problem,
that was something that when I was younger, you know, I really didn't know any of the kids in my school who were going through that. I really felt like it was just me. But I was able to turn what happened with that divorce, turning it into racing, turning it into that age of 7 and wanting to go out and help as many kids as I possibly could.
You like to focus on high schoolers and middle schoolers. Why those age groups specifically?
Yeah, you know, I like to speak to everybody, but really the middle schoolers and high schoolers, I feel I'm able to share the assembly in its entirety. You know, in the assembly, I talk about mental health, teen suicide. I talk about the hard topics that I know a lot of people are really either scared or don't want to talk about. And I feel like with the middle and high schoolers, I'm able to fully share that, and they fully understand, you know, kind of what's going on, and they're able to then turn that into something of their own.
One of the things you say is, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. Don't you like that, Nate? I like that.
That's true.
I think that's true, too. What do you mean by that, and how is that
Even
helped
as
you?
adults, Gayle.
Yeah, I know, also true.
Yeah, so that was something that I'd heard from a speaker that I listened to. His name's Mark Merrow, and that was something that I really took to heart, because back in Boise where I live, I'm thankful to have a really great friend group. You know, they kind of support everything that I do, and they find what I do pretty cool. But I'm able to show these kids, you know, after the assembly, that the friend group that you're with, you'll know when it's the right one. Right, there are friends who they'll bring you down, and they'll put you in a place you don't want to be. But if you have those friends who support what you do, are there for you all the time, they can put you in such a better place.
The motto of your organization is, if I have this right, it's imagine, believe, achieve.
Yep.
What do you want kids to take away from that?
Yeah, that's something that's really big in the assembly. You know, it's the name of my new assembly program that we've just revamped this year. And it's something that I always bring into assembly. That I want kids to, if they have a goal that they can imagine, and they can truly believe in that goal, and no matter what it takes to get through it, they can achieve almost anything.
How are you so poised at 18? Help me understand that, Luc Swensson.
Most people are afraid of public speaking. You're touring the country doing it.
Yeah, you know, I honestly, I have to give thanks to my dad. My dad, for the longest time, worked in sales and a sales rep, and I would come home to him being in the sales meetings, and I would just pick up off of that. You know, I'm able to turn something that I learned from him so many years, and now it's the reason I'm standing up on stage.
So you and your dad are tight. Are you and your mom still healing, can we say?
Yeah, yep. You know, my dad and I, honestly, through this entire thing, through the assemblies, through the early divorce, through all the hard times that I've gone through, it's just grown us closer and closer. We spend a lot of window time together. Yeah. You know, a lot of these assemblies we drive to. No matter where it is across the country, we'll drive to them. So we we kind of look at each other as if we weren't dad and son, it'd be kind of like a brother.
Wow.
To me, he's my everything. He's the reason I'm
beautiful.
here today. He's the reason I'm sitting here right now.
That is beautiful.
Wow.
Shout out to Pops.
Shout
Luc
out to
Swensson.
Thor Swensson.
Thank you so
Wow.
much.